You're not going to see him with a weapon.
Big 30's lawyer does an interview pleading his innocence. Let's get into it. Follow for more content like this.
Or what happened. And again, Big 30 is not alleged to have done anything when that occurred. And I think if you look at the video when he's coming there and leaving, you're not going to see him with a weapon.
Okay, well, the cameraman, Matt, got choked from behind, almost losing consciousness. And he was robbed of his Rolex watch, Louis Vuitton bag, which had other watches in it. And there was air tags that were actually in the bags that they took. Now, this is where Big 30 gets pulled into the situation again, because as the robbery was happening inside the studio, the feds are saying that Big 30 walked over to the studio door to the lobby, closed it, and blocked it with his body, preventing people from leaving. Now, Gucci's head of security tried to get in and try to push their way through, but they're saying that Big 30 barricaded the door. With handguns drawn, Gucci Mane's head of security and the second security partially got the door open, but then realized they were outnumbered by a bunch of other guns that were in the room. So this is where your client gets thrown into a bigger situation.
Okay, this is a federal case because they're saying that he crossed state lines coming from Memphis, Tennessee, or coming from Tennessee, entered into the state of Texas to commit a robbery and to commit kidnapping. That was his intent. So the government has to prove that he had the intent, and that was his reason for coming there. And again, as I've explained, they recorded music in that studio multiple times, and they had recorded music, from my understanding, the day before. And that was his reason for being there. So I think you still run into the issue of the intent.
Well, the intent is going to be hard to prove. I get that. But even if you take the intent out of the equation, they're still saying a crime occurred in that studio.
Well, but now the feds are involved, so there has if it's a state case, right, then that's different. But this is a federal case, so part of what they have to prove is that he had the intent of coming across state lines to commit these particular acts. And what's telling to me is if Pooh Shiesty had this gun drawn on Gucci Mane, why isn't he charged with a 924G or 922G?
What is that?
A felon in possession of a handgun. Because he's a felon.